money, utility, or some other ideal that we would like to maximize. Since the topic is restrictive and claims that efficiency should not only be important in the act of making law, but should instead be the most important topic in the act of creating, the most important rationale in the act of creating law, we must first establish why efficiency is actually a good thing. Then we as the proposition would like to show why efficiency must be the prima facie obligation of lawmaking. Broadly speaking, efficiency is when resources are put to their most valuable uses, which mean they end up in the hands of those who value them most highly. We can judge how people value something by how much they are willing to give up for it, and in this way we can think of efficiency as mimicking the market. We all, consciously or not, strive to achieve efficiency in our own lives. For instance, say you have math homework to do, you can do it the long way, it takes 4 hours, or you can do it the short way, which takes 1 hour. You will undoubtedly do it the short way and save an hour, and then you'll have 3 hours extra to do whatever you want with your spare time. When you do the math homework in that way, you are embracing the concept of efficiency. The opposite of efficiency is inefficiency, which is if you do the homework the long way, waste an extra 3 hours on it, and don't gain anything out of it. We think the law should try to operate in such an efficient manner as you would do if you did the math homework the short way. Now we would like to turn the law. Now we would like to turn to the law and say that lawmakers should do just what we would do there. We think that it is logically incoherent for us to do the math homework the long way and spend 4 hours instead of the short way and spend 1 hour. So now that we have established that efficiency is a reasonable goal and that we should probably try to maximize it because it makes all our lives better, we have to explain why efficiency is not only an important purpose of the law, but the most important purpose of the law. First, we must consider why we have laws at all. It's because laws make our society a better place to live in. They're intended to make society function better and make people's lives better. From the law passed prohibiting rape to the law creating the Act of the Federal Reserve, laws have been passed to ensure that citizens live safer, happier, and healthier lives. This goal of the law is strikingly reminiscent of the concept of efficiency. In an efficient system, people are made as well off as possible because resources are optimally allocated. Likewise, in a legal system, people are made better off than they would be if we did not have a legal system at all. We think these two concepts should be reconciled. However, I did not say that in a legal system, society's utility is always maximized. Many legal systems have a lot of waste, and we would like to minimize this waste, and that is why we believe the law should be efficient. Thank you.
We can imagine in a case which we show why efficiency should be the main goal of lawmakers. Say there is a factory which has a profit of $200 but pollutes on this town, and local villagers would pay up to $100 to remove this efficiency. Since they don't have the extra $100 to compensate for the factory's losses, they have to go to a judge and get his law to force the factory to shut down. A judge who aims to maximize efficiency would not shut down the factory because in this case the society as a whole would lose $100. However, suppose that there is instead a judge who does not consider efficiency to be the main purpose of lawmaking, and he would likely then order the factory to be shut down. For example, he believes that the local residents have an absolute right to clean air which trumps the logic of efficiency. In such a case, the factory could offer the local residents $101 not to bring the case to trial, and the residents would accept in that case. Both parties then would benefit. However, in our society today, transaction costs are rarely ever zero. So this means that there must be some type of legal efficiency to regulate what happens in this situation. In asserting that the primary purpose of lawmaking should be efficiency, we reject value pluralism, or the notion that the law should promote various different goals. We think efficiency should be the main goal of law. The reason why we believe this is that many of the values that lawmakers aim to uphold in laws are values that do not improve overall happiness or utility for the whole society. In making our case, we are expressing the view of normative law and economics. Normative law and economics makes lawmaking recommendations based on economic consequences of various policies. The key concept for normative economic analysis is efficiency, in particular allocative efficiency. Allocative efficiency, in turn, can be explained via two concepts: Pareto efficiency and Kaldor-Hicks efficiency. A legal rule is Pareto efficient if it cannot be changed so as to make one person better off without making the other person worse off. The other type of efficiency is Kaldor-Hicks efficiency, which occurs when people who benefit from something enough that they can fully compensate others who are made worse off and still maintain some form of benefit. When trying to improve efficiency, these are the guidelines which lawmakers must keep in mind. Critics of the proposition that the law should maximize efficiency sometimes incorrectly say that doing so fails to account for the principle of diminishing marginal utility. This is simply incorrect. Diminishing marginal utility is the idea that people's happiness, which results from obtaining goods they desire, can diminish once they have enough goods, simply to put. For a billionaire, an extra $100 does not increase his or her level of utility. However, someone who is struggling to pay the electric bills would benefit greatly from this $100. When talking about maximizing efficiency, we talk about maximizing society's cumulative well-being, which necessarily means taking into account the notion of diminishing marginal utility. Efficiency is indeed an economic goal of making society better off by ensuring that resources are put to their most productive use, and because it is an economic goal, we must apply basic economic principles, count everyone equally, and think in terms of costs and benefits in order to maximize efficiency. Another objection which many opponents of normative law in economics often present is that they say normative law in economics only belongs in contract law.
The primary purpose of lawmaking should not be to maximize efficiency. In the sense of utilitarianism as maximizing efficiency, utilitarianism should not be adopted as the foundation for drafting law. An important part of theory is its ability to explain reality, and all too often utilitarianism is able to explain these extenuating circumstances, but doesn't really apply in normal situations that allow us to report our intuitions. For example, take the case when the train is on the tracks. The train can take one track that would kill one person, or the other track which would kill 10 people. Most oftentimes, the conductor would elect to kill one person. Also, in the case of 9/11, when collective punishment was sanctioned to benefit the larger number of people who might be harmed. These are cases when utilitarianism can apply. Following the logic of aggregate utilitarianism, you can have 1 billion people with, say, a happiness level of 1. And that would be more preferable to, say, 1 million people with a happiness factor of just under 1,000. Now, this is a dangerous game to play when you're designing law. And frankly, it's something that utilitarianism as a philosophy is unable to accommodate when designing law. Another pivotal argument against applying the law of economics to true law is in the realm of punishment. Oftentimes we'll see, if we value efficiency too much, the punishment will simply fit the crime. It doesn't take into account corrective action or maybe making sure the criminal got what he deserves, but simply to match most efficiently the crime with the punishment. This is a major shortcoming in the argument. So what are the implications of this? We'll see mercy, justice, even judgment. These are intangible qualities that would be sacrificed in order to, in the pursuit of efficiency. Another example